Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Thank you all very much for joining me today in Azeroth. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday thus far. We are going to be doing stuff in Felwood today, at least to start things off. But it looks like we have some housekeeping we want to do before we set off here. So let's go vendor, let's clean up the inventory. We got to do a little bit of first aid. Make some bandages before we really get into things here. What is new? What is good, guys?
Free to browse. Del Nadris.
Eags, Dragon's Bane, Chaos, Lael, Wayne, Preston, I am Karen. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Oh, we're gonna have first aid capped out and we still haven't made a single rune cloth bandage. I wonder when enemies start dropping rune cloth. Maybe we'll see some drop in places like Felwood, places like Ungoro Crater. Do we get anything big at 50? I don't know. We'll have to check on that in a minute. Maybe. The flight point sucks. For Alliance side in Felwood, yeah. The Horde have one in the middle of the zone, I think. And ours is on the far northern end of the zone. Yeah, we won't be able to do a lot there today. I think there are 2 or 3 quests we can do at this level. And then we'll be thinking about having to go somewhere else. Obviously, we'll hit 50. I'd like to find a way to get to level 51, and then we can go into Ungoro Crater. Geo, good evening, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Alright, let's see. What do we get at 50? A new rank of Eviscerate. That's okay, sure. Like, I don't Eviscerate a lot, but sometimes I do. A new rank of Sap and Wound Poison, so not really anything. we don't really get much. We get Hemorrhage. Oh, what is this? An instant strike that damages the opponent and causes the target to hemorrhage. Increasing physical damage dealt to the target by up to 5. Oh, I've never had this ability before. But apparently I have rank 1 right now. What is this ability? Hemorrhage. No, I don't have a hemorrhage spell. Yeah, I don't know if that's something that we would use or not. Not really certain. Alright. Inventory's been emptied. Bandages have been made. Let's get on the road, shall we? It's mainly for subtlety. That makes sense. Yep, doesn't sound like something we're going to be using a lot. So there's no rush to go train at 50. We could, we could go over to Darnassus. In fact, we have at least one quest I need to turn in over in Darnassus, so eventually we could fly there. Before we hearth back to Gadgekstan, we'll go to Darnassus, train rogue skills, and turn in any quest. For subtlety, it replaces Sinister Strike. Oh, that's interesting. Level 50, you get an ability that will replace the attack you've been using for the entire game up to that point. That's interesting. I'm sorry. But it's a PvE realm, so if you're walking around with your flag on, you're basically asking to get ganked. I couldn't help myself. He shouldn't be walking around with his flag on. I'm sorry. I know that kind of stuff like really makes people mad. I get a lot of hate. When we did the white main run, I got so much hate in my mailbox. People would type me paragraphs into the actual in-game mail about how awful I was for engaging people in PvP. Like anytime I engaged somebody in PvP in Stranglethorn or something, it didn't matter like how close we were in level. But anytime people are like, I don't know why you have to attack people. I don't know why you can't just let people play the game and respect their time. And I'm like, we're on a PvP server. We're in Stranglethorn. What am I supposed to do? I'm a true rogue now. Yeah. I didn't stealth him. I mean, he saw me coming from a long way off. He had to know that he was probably in trouble. You know what I mean? He had to know he was probably in trouble. Carrie, good morning to you and welcome to the stream. I bet he'll be more cautious about when he turns his flag on going forward. What a weird thing to say. Bye! So yeah, you guys can see what kind of mood I'm in today. Starlord, welcome to the stream, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Cleansing Felwood. See, this is level 55. I really don't want to grab that one right now. We're going to skip that one for now. We're going to grab the level 48 quest. And we're going to work on that one until it's done, and then we'll check out these other ones. We got level 51 we could do. So like I said, there will only be a couple of quests we're going to do here before we have to bail out. This might be a good grind area though, depending on how many other people are here. I feel like Felwood is probably a less visited part of the world. Less visited, and I don't think people that come here spend as much time here. But then again, I've been wrong before. And I guess I have to get over this idea that there's any part of Azeroth that isn't completely full of players. I don't want your group. I don't want your group for a solo kill quest. No, thank you. I do want poisons, though. Poisons would be great. I'll take a zone like Felwood or Plaguelands over the Searing Gorge or the Burning Steppes, though. Like, yeah, it's not a bright, shiny area, but at least it's a forest. At least there are trees and foliage. I'll take it over the Searing Gorge any day. Yeah, this place, like every other place is farmed out right now. We'll have to run around and catch the respawns that we can. Whatever the Curse of the Deadwood is that he's trying to cast on me, I feel like I probably want to interrupt that anytime I can. It's probably going to be something very detrimental to us. Kamamu, welcome to the stream and thanks for joining us today. I'm just gonna kill stuff nearby while we wait for respawns, and maybe some of these people will finish the quest and peel out. It's not a really big quest. It's a quest to kill 18 mobs. So, you know, perhaps we'll catch a lull where there's nobody else working here and we can do some grinding, but in the meantime I'll just fight stuff nearby since it seems to be the same level range. What else can I do with my time, guys? Like, what else can we do? Like, this is crazy. Unfortunately, like, this isn't a very good way to enjoy a video game. That's the shitty part. It's like, it's great that people are playing. I'm happy that people are excited for TBC. This is a shitty way to try to play a video game. It just is. It doesn't really matter like what your perspective is on it. It just sucks when you can't tag mobs. Like, that's the bottom line. You run around in circles and you can't tag mobs, it kind of sucks. And I think we're kind of getting out of the level range for ZF. Like, ZF is not going to last us much longer. As far as like an alternate place to grind. So I don't know. I don't know what one is supposed to do. You're having the same problems in Winter Spring, Fiery Foxer? Yeah, it's been the same everywhere that I've gone. It's been anywhere there's quest. If there's a quest anywhere in the area, then all the mobs are farmed out for the quest. Sometimes you can find little pockets of like non-quest mobs. Sometimes you can grind on non-quest mobs, but that's about all you can do. It's really hard to work at like getting quests done. Have I ever realized the trinket slot is actually an ear with an earring? Oh yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah it is. I guess I have a carrot. I have a carrot on one ear. And I have like some kind of like piece of cloth dangling from my other ear. It's kind of silly when you put it that way. I have like a gauze pad on one ear and a carrot on the other. Yeah, I feel like I've looked at that before. And I've probably noticed it before but never really thought about it. Have I thought about what professions I might do on my Draenei? I'm not positive when or if I'll level the Draenei. I don't really know what my plans are for pre-patch. Now that I'm gonna have to play this character a bit into pre-patch, like we're gonna at least have to get level 50 to 58 during the pre-patch. Now I'm not really sure what I want to do. And I don't really know if I need any more Alliance characters. Like, this is gonna be my main. I'm gonna focus all of my rating on this character. Like, I don't know if I really need any more, like, I don't know if I need any more Alliance alts. Because I don't know if there's anything else I really want to do in a raid. You know, I don't know. I don't know what my plans are. I said I have to figure out how I'm going to get this character to 58 ever. Even if I wait till after pre-patch when leveling is a little bit better, we're still going to be, like, there's still going to be congestion. It's still going to be hard to get quests done, so... I'm not really thinking about it. I kind of want to play a Blood Elf, and I got to figure out, like, how can I play a Blood Elf? How does that fit into the grand scheme of things? So I don't know. I'm not in a decision-making mood. I'm not going to make any decisions until I'm actually, like, creating characters and logging them in. There's too much stuff that I'd like to do if I had the time that I don't know if I'm going to have the time for. I think I want to play some Horde on my US account. I think if I do an alt, if I dedicate any time to an alt, it's probably going to be a Blood Elf. And it's going to be on my US account. I think that's kind of what I decided. As much as I've decided anything. And that, like anything else, is going to require me to have the time and energy to actually play it. Yeah, I think Dream Scythe for the Blood Elf, yeah. Like, because, you know, when I'm playing over here, on the EU side, when I'm raiding and stuff or doing stuff with the guild, I'm going to have people that I know to play with. You know, I'm going to be playing with guild people, I'll be playing with CNET and Dragon's Bane. And so I'll have people to play with during heroics and stuff, people I can communicate with. The problem that I'm starting to run into on the EU side of things is that while a lot of people on the EU servers speak English, it's not their first language. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but a lot of them are not very good at speaking or understanding English. Except I think that they think they are. And so I keep getting into these pugs where there are just like weird, massive communication problems. And it's like the problem doesn't even seem to exist just between me and them. They can't communicate with each other either. We were trying to figure out in a 5-man the other day if somebody had a mallet. And after asking the question several times, one of the people in the group linked a random quest item. They just linked some quest item. They're like, I has this, and they linked a quest. And I'm like, that's not the mallet. What are you doing? And I just like, when I'm pugging a lot, I don't need any more like interference than just the natural interference of pugging with strangers. And so I need to be somewhere where more people, A, they speak in a way that I understand, and then I want to feel that when I bother to type something into party chat, that people are actually able to read and understand what I'm trying to say. And I never feel that way on the EU. I feel like if I type more than 4 words into party chat, no one's gonna fucking know what I'm talking about. And I don't like that feeling. As someone who values communication and the ability to communicate with words, I don't like the feeling that I don't understand what the hell people are saying, and they don't understand what the hell I'm saying. And so it's been this growing problem that I've had, where like a lot of people here, they know English. Knowing English and speaking English are not the same thing. It's not the same thing, and it doesn't lead to the same level of communication. And so if I'm gonna do a lot of pugging, then I'm gonna play on the US servers on my Horde side. And that way I'll be able to understand more of the people, and more of the people will be able to understand me. And if I'm pugging a lot, I really need that. Whether or not they suck is not the issue. Plenty of the pugs have been great as far as gameplay. The players perform fine. I don't have any problem with anybody's performance. It's quite simply the inability to communicate basic concepts. When there's an inability to communicate basic concepts within the 5-man group, pugging is not going to work. And the heroics in TBC aren't super difficult, but they have enough mechanics and there's enough stuff going on that, especially if we ever get into heroic plus, like, I'm gonna need to be able to communicate with pugs. They're gonna have to not only know English, but they're gonna have to speak it, they're gonna have to be able to read it, they're gonna have to be able to understand what I'm saying. And that's it. It has nothing to do with the performance. The performance of players is basically the same. But I just want to I want to feel more understood when I'm in a pug, and I want to be able to understand more what other people are saying. That's it. And if I play some Horde side on my US account, I can play during the day. So I won't be on streaming during prime time on the server. I'll be streaming during everybody's workday. And I'm hoping that will alleviate some of the congestion that we're seeing. So if I do play a Blood Elf, it'll be on Dream Scythe US. And then I'll keep my raiding and my Alliance character here on the EU side with my guild. And so that's my plan right now, I guess. As much as I have any plan, that's it. Yeah, I played a bunch on Dream Scythe before, and it was fine. I have a level 52 Alliance Warrior on Dream Scythe. And it was fine. I'm playing on EU so that I can raid. You know, I want to be able to raid during this time of day for me. So that's the reason that I'm on EU. But if I just want to have a Blood Elf alt to do heroics, then I want to do that on the US servers. Yeah, like playing during prime time on the server is great when you're at endgame doing endgame stuff. But anytime you're trying to level a character, playing during prime time sucks. Playing during prime time sucks if you're trying to level up. And I do a lot of leveling, you know? Like, leveling characters is a lot of what I do here. And so, you know, we get into situations like this where I can't really make progress, and that sucks. It's not really fun for anybody. So yeah, I gotta get my US account rolling, and we'll do our Blood Elf over on that side. I guess I can spend my talent point. Yeah, we did hit level 50 at some point. Let's see. We are going to put the last point into improve the slice and dice, and then after that, I think we're going to grab lethality. Yep, I think we'll do 5 points in lethality. And then we can do 5 points in improved poisons, or we can do 5 points in vile poisons. I think I'm going to go with vile poisons. Speaking of poisons, yeah, vile does straight up like more damage, and then the other one is like more chance to apply the poison is the other one. I would love to have both, but we don't have the talent points for both, so we'll take the more damage. David, thank you so much for the $45 super chat. That is a ton of support, and I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. And that got us to our goal, so thank you. The weird numbers in the tip jar were triggering. It was just an uneven amount of dollars and cents. It ends up that way. Sometimes it'll be like 0.6 repeating or something really strange for the percentage. Yeah, I can see how that'd be bothersome. This server that we're playing on here is Thunderstrike EU, which is a PvE anniversary realm. But I'm also going to be doing some gameplay on Dream Scythe US. So once pre-patch hits, I'll be doing some Blood Elf action on Dream Scythe US. And then our main is going to be on Thunderstrike EU for raiding and stuff. Well, that was fun. See, it looks like we kind of caught a lull here between other players. Either that or we ended up in a phase or a layer where there are not a lot of other players around. Either way, I'll take it. I think we're looking for Pathfinders. That's all we need for the quest. Shane, you're waiting for Blizz to allow the normal $40 character boost outside the bundle. Yeah, I mean, they had that originally in classic TBC. It was called the Dark Portal Pass, and I bought one. I bought one for a character that was about level 50 because I didn't want to spend the 20 or 30 hours to get the 8 levels. I used that on my Priest Athos, and we had put 200 or so hours into leveling him, and I still thought the 40 bucks was worth not having to do the last 10 levels. And I would probably do the same thing. If the $40 Dark Portal Pass were a thing, I would probably just pay the 40 bucks and boost this character. And I would have done it back when they were like 45, so it would have had a little bit more value, but yeah. I don't know if they're going to, especially if they are making money off the $90 bundle, then they're just going to keep selling it as part of the $90 bundle. I don't know if they're going to decouple it at any point. I feel like if they were going to have that option, they might have already had it. But we'll see. Anything's possible, I guess. It'd be nice if they did the Dark Portal Pass, but, you know, maybe that boost can't be used on the Blood Officer Draenei. Maybe the only boost you can use on the Blood Officer Draenei would be the $90 one. And that would incentivize some people to still buy the $90 one, and then, like, normal people could just buy the $40 one. Yeah, you've heard people talking about it, but it's just in LFG. Yeah, I mean, it could happen, because they've done it before. So there's a precedent for it happening, for sure. Definitely not outside the realm of possibility. 40 bucks is pretty cheap for a level 58 character boost, though, if I'm being honest. Because you gotta think, like, that's saving you about 200 hours of time. 200 hours is a lot of freaking time. No matter how you value your time, it's a lot. And so $40 for a 58 classic era boost is very, very valuable, and I wonder if they're gonna do it. Have they put it in a blue post that they're going to? Oh, they did. Okay, well, if it's in a blue post, then they're gonna do it. I can't confirm if that's true because I'm not searching right now, but sure, if there was a blue post, then there you go. I won't be using it because by then, you know, I'll probably be like level 54. So I think the value for me has kind of come and passed. I would have loved the solo boost when I was like level 45 would have been the time that I for sure would have bought it. If it was available around the time I was level 45. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything on Wowhead, but it doesn't mean anything. We'll see. If it's an option, we'll see advertisements for it soon enough, you know? Like, they'll start advertising it on your Battle.net splash screen. More and more. Primordial, welcome to the stream, buddy. Lars, good evening to you. Yeah, 8 more levels to go. But does the solo boost say it can be used on Blood Elves? Yeah, I don't know. I can't find the blue post, so it's probably buried somewhere in the forums. Let's see, we just hit level 50 a bit ago. What is our slash played? Our slash played to get to level 50 is 5 days, 2 hours, and 35 minutes. 5 days. Some of you guys can do math a lot faster than I can. I need a calculator to do that. 24 times 5 plus 2. It has taken us 122 hours of gameplay to get to level 50. About 120 hours. That is a lot of time. In that amount of time, I could have beaten 2 JRPGs. True story. Well, depending on... Yeah, about 2. Depending on the JRPG. It's a lot of time. And I think like from 50 to 58, we have about 25 to 30 more hours of gameplay. So our total amount of gameplay time to get this character to 58 is going to be about 160 hours. So if you were to buy like a $40 boost, like a solo boost, you're getting 58 levels divided by 40. You're paying $1.45 a level. That doesn't seem right. It might be right. No, it's not right at all. I can't math. I told you guys I can't math. You're paying like a quarter a level or something. I don't know. It's something cheap. But anyway, the point is, per the hours involved, the solo boost is very, very valuable. We need one more Pathfinder. $1.45 is correct. It doesn't seem like it would be, but maybe it is. $1.40, but no, because then 58 times 145 is not $40, so it can't be right. That's the problem. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, it can't be right because then 1.45 times 58 is more than 40. So I don't know. I did it backwards. 1.45 levels per dollar. There you go. Yeah, I did the equation backwards. That makes sense. You get a level and a half per dollar, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, guys. If I could pay $5 or $6 right now and be level 58, I certainly would. It's a good value, especially if what you're interested in is playing TBC. Like if you just want to get into Outland and all that stuff, then it's really good. 69 cents per level. Of course it's 69 cents per level. Why wouldn't it be? Dragon's Bane, your playtime is at 8 days and 20 hours, but you've been grinding a lot. What level are you, man? But you're missing all the pain of 50 to 58. I mean, I've experienced that pain enough in the past. I mean, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm here doing it. But if I could have paid my way out of it a while ago, I probably would have. You're 56, Dragon's Bane, and you've got 8 days. I don't even want to do the math on that because it's a lot. You know, it's a lot of numbers. Almost, you're 200 hours. You're over 200 hours in. 200 hours is about where my paladin ended at level 60 over on Mancreek. We did about 210 hours, 220 hours, something like that. To me, it wouldn't be a waste because I value my time at a little bit more than that, and so, you know, I'm not gonna do it, but at level 45, I would have. If the solo boost was out when I was level 45 on this character, I would have boosted it. Now that I'm level 50, I think maybe I try to stick it out. I'm obviously going to have to level the character up during the pre-patch, but, you know, worse things have happened. It's going to cut into my Blood Elf playing time, which is unfortunate. At the cost, you'd be better off boosting a brand new tune. See, I disagree, because I'm attached to this character. To get your dollar's worth, you would say that. Yeah, I know what you mean, like, leave this character alone, boost a different character from a different class from 0. Yeah, like, you're right. Except that there's really nothing else I would want to boost, you know? And to be quite honest with you, I've never boosted a character from level 1 and ever played them. But I have boosted a level 50 character and played them. So, like, I just have this track record of, like, when I boost a level 1, I don't play it. I don't see it as wasted, though. I don't see it as work wasted. I see it as time that I spent. And if I spent that time and I enjoyed it, then it's not wasted, even if I negate the last couple levels. I don't see it as wasted. I have a different value proposition for it than most people do because of the way that I live. So for me, it's not wasted time. Even if I then just decide to boost the last 5 levels, it wouldn't have been wasted time. Create a priest, name him Athos, boost him to 58, and continue where you left off. I could boost a class that I'm familiar with, yeah. Like, if I were to boost a priest, I know how to play Shadow Priest. And I know how to spam a heal button, so that wouldn't be so bad. The difficulty comes when you're trying to learn like a DPS rotation. You just don't feel comfortable with any of the buttons. But the Shadow Priest in TBC I could. Like, guys, first they have to start selling the solo boost, okay? Like, right now, as far as I can tell, this is not a thing you can buy. So we can talk about options more when they start selling this thing, because like if I look right now, like I don't think this is a real thing yet. Apparently I'm not. Oh, there we go. There's the shop. I'm not seeing it. I don't think it's out yet. No, there's nothing yet. No solo boost on the shop yet. Boost are the easy way. Oh, they're definitely the easy way out. You can't disagree with them because they didn't ask your opinion. So it's pointless, and it's pointless to disagree. They don't want your opinion anyway. Remember, corporations are there to make money. The point of a corporation is to make money. And so what they're doing is absolutely right for their role. They're offering people a service that they know people want, that they know is going to make them money. They're doing everything that they're supposed to do. It's not their fault they exist in the same society that we do. They're just playing the game by the rules that have been established. And the rules that have been established for our particular culture say that corporations must make money, and that they must be smart about making money, and that they must in fact make as much money as they possibly can. They're just playing the same game that everybody else is playing. Hate the game, not the player. I think that's right. Just boost a holy pally, spam flash of light, GG. Exactly. Exactly. You can't go wrong. A joyous journey would have been really great, yeah. But listen to this. Now we understand why they didn't do a joyous journey, right? I think now we understand why they didn't do a joyous journey. It's hard to sell people boost when you do a big leveling event that makes leveling easier and faster. It's hard for people to justify the boost. But if they're looking at 150 to 200 hours, then it becomes really easy to justify buying a boost. Especially if you can get the solo boost for 40 bucks, it's such a good value. And that's why they didn't do a joyous journey. So now it all makes sense, right? Now it all makes sense. The peasants will get their boost and they will like it. They will buy their WoW tokens and all will be well with the kingdom. Yes, exactly. It wouldn't be 60 bucks. I think it'd be a $40 boost. The original Dark Portal Pass was 40 bucks. So if this solo boost is 60 bucks, that would be a 20% increase over the first time around. But again, this is not an item that exists yet on the shop, so I can't say. Speak to somebody at the northern part of the cave. Okay. Feathers. Deadwood headdress feathers. I don't have any of those. Is there a zone-specific Felwood buff, or is that only in Kata? I'm not aware of a zone-specific Felwood buff. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. There's lots of stuff that I'm not aware of. I mean, let's think about it like this for a minute. They could charge you $50 to buy TBC to be able to walk through the Dark Portal with the character you had to level up yourself. Because that's what happens usually when a game releases a new expansion, is you have to buy it. And so with Classic, you don't have to do that. With Classic, you pay your sub, they release expansions, and you just get to keep playing the game without ever buying a box copy. So, like, you know, we can be disdainful of the things they do to make money, but also keep in mind that you're playing an amazing fucking game, and the only price of admission is your $15 sub. Which is completely unlike any other game of this quality that exists today. Just something to keep in mind. I don't think I want to grab any of these level 54 quests yet, to be honest. Let's grab Forces of Jadenar. I think we can do this one before we peel out of here. And this one is going to happen to the north. But then again, I think maybe one of these pairs with it. Verifying Corruption. What is this one? Entropic Beast. That's not the one I'm thinking of. The Corruption of the Jadefire. Maybe this is the one. I'm gonna grab this. I don't know if we're gonna do it, but we'll see. Yeah, for now, let's go up here. Oh, look. It says there's Jadefire corrupted people over in this direction. This is where we were fighting the Furbolgs. Okay, I'm gonna go check this out. Fellsworn. We need more than Fellsworn, though. We need Fellsworn, we need Rogues. Maybe we should just go north. Maybe going north is the right move. Imagine a pug of 4 other boosted characters running a dungeon when they don't even know anything about the game. I mean, that happens all the time anyway. That's gonna happen with the $90 boost. You're gonna have groups full of Draenei and full of Blood Elves that have been boosted, and they're gonna be Paladins, or they're gonna be Shaman, or they're gonna be whatever, and... It's not as bad as in, like, boosted characters in retail. Like, think about how much more you have to learn about how to play a retail character than you have to learn about how to play a classic character. Like, classic characters have very simple rotations. They don't have a billion cooldowns you have to manage. Like, I've been playing this rogue for like 120 hours, and like, I'm still doing the exact same thing I was doing at level 15. I'm coming out of stealth, I'm sinister striking, I'm doing slice and dice. And that's basically all I do. And it's basically all I've been doing since level 15. And so it's not like the classes are incredibly complicated to learn once you do boost them. Like, obviously you're not going to have a lot of muscle memory, but I think a scourge of boosted characters is much worse in a game like retail, where the classes are actually really complicated, where the talent trees are basically indecipherable garbage. You have to be a goddamn savant to figure out how your abilities connect to all your talents, and how those talents connect to all these other talents you pick later, and like, you're not ever going to understand it. And so I think boosting a character in Classic, like, that's going to leave somebody with a better chance of success than maybe any other version of the game. Most people in retail will use rotation assist. They still have to press all those buttons, and it's still like 50 buttons per spec. Yeah, they can do that, and that's fine. But I dare say it's still going to be harder than playing your classic era character, because you still have a ton more buttons you're going to have to slam on the regular. I don't know. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, a lot of times you get into pugs and nobody seems to know what the hell they're doing anyway. and then you try to talk to them and they reply in German with a question mark. So I don't see that it's gonna get very worse. Like for like the typical pug experience, I feel like your typical pug experience is still gonna be the same as it is today. We had a hunter yesterday who wasn't using his pet. And the reason he wasn't using his pet is because he said he did not want his pet to pull aggro off the tank. I then had to explain to him that he could uncheck growl so the pet wouldn't do it, and then that he needed to be sending his pet in because it was in fact a large part of his damage. And that was not a boosted character. This was a character that a player had played all the way to level 47. And this player made it all the way to level 47. They didn't know how to turn growl off. They'd probably been yelled at by many tanks, and they thought the best thing I can do in this situation is to put my pet on passive and not use my pet at all. And that was how they solved the problem, in the complete wrong way. And this was after, you know, 120 hours of them playing the class. So in an environment like that, I don't see that somebody boosting a character is going to lead to any less of an understanding of the specs. Because apparently, in some cases, the things that are indecipherable are going to be indecipherable, and the things that are easily understood are going to be easily understood. Steven says, I made it to 60 in original classic with rank 1 pet abilities because I don't know that you had to tame other pets to get higher ranks. It's not even about taming other pets. You don't have to tame other pets to get higher ranks, but you do have to go do your pet training. If you want abilities outside of your pet's class, then you need to train other pets. Like if you want a boar to have bite, you have to go train a wolf, like a level 12 wolf, and you got to play with them for a minute and then you'll be able to train your butt. To get like new ranks of growl and attacks and stuff like that, you just have to go into your pet training. But your pet training is a button inside of your spellbook that opens up another menu, and they don't tutorialize you to it. You learn it and it goes into your spellbook and it's like, oh, you've learned pet training, but they don't tutorialize it, and then they don't really tell you when you have to actually go back and talk to the NPC that's going to help you with that. And so Hunter is kind of like a noob trap. Hunter is very easy to play. It's very easy to pick up and succeed because you're not taking a lot of damage, you're not dying a lot, and therefore you feel like you're being successful. But the Hunter has a lot of caveats to it. Same thing with the Warlock pets. Like you have to buy your Grimoires and you have to train the pets in their different ranks of abilities using the Grimoires. And if you don't realize that or you don't know that, then you're going to play for a long time with a character that's very severely underpowered. So yeah. How much do we pay for the WoW sub? The same amount that we've paid since the game came out. Yeah, the WoW sub is $14.99 USD a month if you're paying monthly. And that price has not changed since 2004. It's never gone up, it's never been increased. It's always been $14.99 when you're paying monthly. Craig, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate you being here. Am I Team Draenei or Team Blood Elf? I'm Team Blood Elf. I'll always be Team Blood Elf over any other race in the game. If there were High Elves, I might be Team High Elf instead. But since Blood Elf is as close as I can get to High Elf, then I'm Team Blood Elf. First, foremost, and always. Draenei are nice too, like they're okay. Their starting area is good, but they just don't have the same Warcraft vibe that Blood Elves have. So we are starting to get rune cloth off of any of the guys that are level 50 and up. But that seems like it's the threshold. They gotta be 50 and up and then they have a chance to drop rune cloth. I don't need anything down here, I don't think. But now I'm kind of curious. Yeah, level 55 Jadenar Legionnaire. Level 53 Jade Fire. Yeah, we're not. We don't need those kinds of problems. It seems like it's really cool down there, but there's some stuff going on that we probably don't want to get involved with right now. This would have made a good 5-man. Yeah, it would be cool to come in if they were all elites. You could take a group into places like that, clear them out. Kind of like an open world elite village. I think it would have been okay as like just an elite area. Not even necessarily like instanced off. Yeah, there really aren't any. The only 5-men, I mean, I guess if you count BFD, like that's an Ashenvale. It's technically Northern Kalimdor. But that's it. I guess Dire Maul is in Southern Kalimdor. And Maradon is in Southern Kalimdor. They really need to do more stuff with Azara. I'm hopeful that in Classic Plus, Azara should be another like level 40 to 50 zone to help out in that range. And there should be Alliance and Horde questing there, obviously. Yeah, I'm really hoping for some Azara stuff in Classic Plus. A bunch of questing hubs and then at least a dungeon. Yeah, this area feeds right in from Ashenvale, and you can see as you zone in from Ashenvale to Felwood, like how the corruption has taken over. That adept just blinked away from us. I don't think I've ever seen them blink away like that before. That was an interesting little maneuver. We are running out of food. There's not even any mobs alive in the barrow den? Oh, come on. I thought for sure we'd find some live ones down here. Do I think I might need more haste or crit? There's no haste in Classic Era. Crit, I don't know. I think I'm fine for right now. I think right now I have everything I need, but there is no haste. Not as a stat that we can get on equipment. There may be some pieces that have crit on it, but I don't even think there's a lot of crit pieces in Classic Era. I think like the best stat we can hope for is attack power. As far as like what we're looking for on items, agility and attack power are going to be the best things for us. Eventually we would probably need to figure out how to get some more hit. I think getting hit capped is going to be something that we have to do in TBC for endgame stuff. And I've never had to worry about getting a character hit capped before. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, I don't know when haste was added. I feel like maybe haste was added in Wrath of the Lich King. Or maybe even in Kata. Mastery was added in Wrath. Yeah, that's right. Mastery was added in Wrath. Haste was added in late TBC. Oh, there we go. I wonder if they'll make that, like if they'll make a change and maybe we'll start seeing haste at the beginning of TBC. Or if they will follow the same kind of release schedule for stuff like that. Jaklai, good afternoon to you and welcome to the stream. Another major TBC change was the introduction of the combat rating system. I don't know what that refers to. Okay, so they'll move away from percentages. Yeah. Because sometimes in Classic Era, you see items with like crit percentage and hit percentage, and I guess the change is just to move those over to numerical values. So instead of like 1% increased chance to hit, it's like, oh, it's 5 hit rating, or whatever the equivalent would be. We are looking for one more cultist. And then we can go turn this one in. Then I think we have to go get this flight point, which is going to be troublesome because it's all the way to the north of us. And after that, well, we might be making a trip to Darnassus, and then whenever we want, we can hearth back to Gadgekstan. We can do our daily ZF. And maybe if we can hit 51 at the end of all of that, then maybe we can step foot into Ungoro Crater. It's either Ungoro Crater or we would make our way back to the Blasted Lands. We started a bunch of the kill quests in the Blasted Lands, and needless to say, the area was completely farmed out. So we decided to leave there and go do ZF. We can go back there and try those quests again. And I feel like no matter where we go, whether it's Ungoro or Blasted Lands, I think the situation with like the players and the mobs are going to be, it's going to be the same situation no matter where we go. So yeah. Do some people have early access to TBC? TBC has been up on the PTR for a long time now. Anybody can download the TBC PTR, and you can play TBC over on the public test room. And it's been up for a long time because they want to do raid testing and stuff like that. So yeah, TBC's been live on the PTR for a while. Sunken Temple. Sunken Temple is a huge pain in the butt. Sunken Temple is a pain in the butt. Even if you happen to know somebody who knows the route, it's still a big waste of time. I am gonna skip Sunken Temple, and I'm gonna keep my sanity. We might do some Blackrock once we get in range for that. But that's it. That's really the only, besides ZF, the only other dungeons I see myself running are the Blackrock dungeons. We might do a couple of those if we're like just really desperate and bored. Can't find anywhere else to level up. Yeah, lower Blackrock Spire if we get in range. I think lower Blackrock Spire is a bit of a higher level, but yeah, we'll do that stuff if we're really desperate to run dungeons. Those ones are a little bit easier for people to understand where to go, and it's better XP. And probably better loot too. Does Robert know he is using the false dagger? I don't even know what that is. So I guess the answer would be no. I'm using the Phantom Blade and the Sword of Serenity. Those are the weapons that I'm actually using. Good so far. Welcome to the stream, man. It's been a while. Everything's going good today. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. There we go. That was the last cultist we need. Alright, so we're gonna go turn this one in. But then unfortunately, I want to run north and I want to grab the flight point. So we have a little bit of travel. I don't really know that the flight point helps me out immensely, but I think it'll help out later on. Does Robert know that ignoring my tips will only lead to more tips? Do you know that instead of that, I'm gonna do this? Because Robert doesn't play. You can throw all the inane comments at me that you want, but if you're gonna threaten me with your inanity, I'm just gonna boot you. Annoying as fuck. Yeah, and I'm fine. Like, if you want to come in and be annoying, you can be annoying. But don't threaten me with your annoyance. If you threaten us with your annoyance, I'm gonna boot you. Faster than you've ever been booted before. Because I don't care. I care more about the sanctity of my peace and the peace of the people in chat who are not trolls than I care about whether or not I boot some random troll. My philosophy is boot first and then never ask questions. It's not even like an ask questions later thing. It's boot first and then forget about it. Now we get the Moonwell quest. Go fill the thing at the Moonwell. Okay, I could have done both of those things at the same time. I could have filled the Moonwell while I was there killing those guys. So now I think they want us to go back into that same area to do that. Okie dokie. We might as well. It's, you know, we're gonna run around. It's free XP, so let's go do it. What would be my least favorite class spec? Balance Druid. It's an easy one. If WoW Classic had never existed, is there any other game that I might have sunk as much time into? No. In fact, like, before Classic came out, I was pretty much quit with WoW. Like, nothing in Modern WoW really interested me. We were in BFA at the time, and like every time I would log into BFA and think about getting a character to level cap of 120, I would just log out. I just didn't want to play the game anymore. And so if Classic had never come out, I don't think I'd be playing WoW at all today. I don't know what I would be playing. When I started this channel, I was just playing variety stuff on the channel, so I probably would have just kept playing variety stuff. So yeah, I probably would have just played whatever. Because that's how the channel started. Is the WoW I'm playing the Lich King version? No, this is not Lich King. Right now we're in Classic era. And starting soon we're going to be in the Burning Crusade era. And then if we get through Burning Crusade, perhaps then we'll be in Wrath of the Lich King. But we don't know if they're going to progress these servers to Lich King or not. All we know for sure is that we're going to progress to TBC. And they're probably going to play it by ear from there. And if there's demand for it, if there's player base for it, then I feel like the Anniversary Realms will at least go into Wrath. But we'll have to wait and see. We're a couple years away from finding out. Hopefully we'll have at least 2 years with TBC. Maybe a year and a half. If we do a year and a half in TBC and a year and a half in Lich King, that gives them 3 more years to put out Classic Plus. That should be enough time. Assuming they've already been working on it since Season of Discovery closed.
What brings you here? Ancestors watch over you. Walk with the Earth Mother.
They don't need a large team to do Classic Plus. They just need a team of people that are talented and passionate. That's it. The groundwork already exists. You know, it's not the same as having to build a game from the ground up. So they don't need a big team, they just need the right team. You can hire tons of people if you need to, but finding the right people is always going to be the hard part. Okay, this is done. So let's go get the flight point, and then I think after that we will head back to Gadgekstan. No, you know what? We have to fly to Darnassus. We have at least one quest that I have to turn in Darnassus. Rise of the Silithid. Yeah, I just want to get this one turned in. Then we'll go back to Gadgekstan, and then we'll queue up for ZF and see if we can find a ZF group. I had to update a couple of add-ons. I'm noticing a little bit of wonkiness with one of our add-ons up by the minimap. Maybe doing a reload while auto-running was not a great idea. Oh, there we go. We're fine. Yeah, what is going on with this? So that add-on is the world buff add-on. I'm just going to turn that off for now. Because I don't know why it's all bugged out, but it's annoying me. There we go. All better. Ashley, you're looking forward to TBC more than Wrath? I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. If we get to Wrath, I won't mind. But I'm definitely not like, oh man, I can't wait to do Wrath again. Yeah, I'm happy to stay in TBC for as long as we can. And then if Anniversary goes to Wrath, I'll play it. But I've played a ton of Wrath. Wrath was where I did basically, like, most of my raiding, when I was, like, the most serious about raiding, when I had the most time to devote to it, and when I was in a guild where, like, we wouldn't just clear, like, the progression content the way that a lot of guilds do now. Every week, we killed every raid boss that existed. So, like, we didn't stop running the old tier stuff just because, like, a new tier of content was out. If nobody needed stuff, we would take alts, we would bring in, like, new members to try them out in the older raids. But, you know, we would kill everything. So I killed the raid bosses tons and tons of times in Wrath, so it's a nice era of the game. I like it. What they did with Wrath Classic was how they eventually added in the Heroic Plus dungeons. That was the first time we saw them add, like, higher level difficulty 5-mans in Classic for better rewards, and I really liked that. So I would definitely be down to see, like, more iteration on that system. And I hope they start with Heroic Plus in TBC. I really think that, you know, they've been doing Heroic Plus in every version of Classic since Wrath. So I feel like starting that in TBC this time would be better. Because I love the challenging 5-man stuff for better rewards. Are there servers that will always be Classic? Yeah, those are the Classic era servers. So if you want to play somewhere where you're never going to move on to a different era of the game, you want to play on Classic era. You'll see Classic era servers and you'll see Anniversary servers. Anniversary realms are the ones that are going to progress. Classic era is 1 to 60 forever. They've always been 1 to 60. They will never be anything but the 1 to 60 content. Karen, have a good rest of your evening. We'll see you next time. If you're looking for a version of the game that feels like an RPG that actually has progression over time, where you spend a lot of time leveling up the character, getting to know the character and the class, then Classic is where you want to be. Modern WoW is like if you want to do endgame activities, like if you're interested in just the instanced endgame content, and you want to spend most of your time at endgame, then that's what Modern WoW is for. But if you're looking for an RPG journey, that's what Classic is for. It's kind of like two different genres of game, almost. Classic is an MMO RPG, and Modern WoW is like an MMO action online group content simulator with quests to do. Different genre. Talon, by the end of Legion Remix, someone went from level 10 to 80 in 22 minutes. That's impressive and sad. 22 minutes to get to level cap. I don't know. That's cool. It might take longer for like a boost to take effect. You know, like you get a boost in retail, you boost the character, and then it takes a while for you to be able to log in. Like the boost might take longer. Retail is a collector's game. Yeah, like if you're soloing, especially if you're a solo player in retail, like it's all about collecting stuff. And it's only going to be more like that because now you have a house. Now they want you to collect stuff for your house. You're already collecting transmog for your appearance. You're collecting mounts. It's all like stuff. And the problem is, the more stuff you add to collect, the less value any specific item has. Until you get to a point where you've collected so much shit that none of it has any value and none of it has any meaning anymore. And that's kind of where retail WoW is at. Like there's tons of stuff to do and tons of stuff to collect. But it's almost like there's so much stuff to collect that like what's the point of any of it? It's like Dragon's Bane said, so you can run around and wear pajamas while you level up a character in 22 minutes. I don't see the point. But you know, it's a different type of game for different people. Obviously a lot of people really love it. And I think that's why it's helpful to think of it as a different genre. Like I don't think of modern WoW as an MMORPG. I just think of it as an MMO collecting action instance content multiplayer game. It's just different. There is no RPG experience. Yeah, classic is where you want to do all that stuff. I would say if that's how you like to play games, then you want to come play on the anniversary realms in classic. That's gonna float your boat best. You think retail appeals to a younger player base? I don't know. I don't think it does. Like maybe. I have trouble understanding who it appeals to. I really don't know. Like young kids aren't into it. Like I don't think there are a lot of 20-year-olds playing retail WoW. I don't think retail WoW is very popular among 20-year-olds at all. So I really don't know who is playing retail WoW. I don't know. Somebody is. Yeah, right now you have three big ways to play WoW. You can play retail WoW. You've seen that. You can play Mist of Pandaria, which is like, it's like midway between classic, but it feels much more like retail than it feels like classic. And then you can play classic. So yeah, it's confusing to get into WoW. There's many different ways to play. And even if you settle on classic, you then have to make sure that you end up on the anniversary realms if you want to progress into some classic expansion content. Because there's also the classic era realms, and the classic era realms are locked at the 1 to 60 content. Those never move forward, those never get any other content. So it's confusing. And I think Blizzard likes it that way, because I think a lot of people who try WoW, I think they end up playing retail. And I don't think they stay for long.
Farewell.
But they might stay long enough to give Blizz some money. So, you know. Let's see. Ooh, Ungoro Soil. Oh, let's go grab that quest. We'll be going to Ungoro eventually here. Yeah, the good thing is you get access to all versions of Classic just by paying your subscription fee. So you're free to try it out. At this point, I would say, like, anybody, if you want to play any version of Classic, then come play on the Anniversary Realms. Mista Pandaria seems like it's kind of at the end of its life cycle, and they don't know what they're going to do next in Mista Pandaria. They haven't talked about whether or not it's going to move into Warlords of Draenor or anything, so... Anniversary Realms are the place to be right now. A Call to Arms Plaguelands. Yeah, Plaguelands soon, I guess. Ravenholt Manor. I hit up the leatherworking trainer a long time ago. I don't think I'm going to do leatherworking on this character. Eventually, I think I'm going to drop these professions and do herbalism alchemy on this character. Because I feel like, especially as a raider, herbalism alchemy is going to benefit me a lot more in the long run. And probably benefit the guild a lot more too. But we'll see. But I did unlock it up to 225 a while back.
Speak quickly, young one. I have urgent matters to attend.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that people try to get into WoW. They see all the different options, and then like they get into a version, they don't really know what version they're in, they don't really know what's going on. And then a lot of times if they don't have guidance, people quit. And that happens to returning players too. It's not just something that affects new players, it happens to people trying to come back to WoW after a long absence. They see all the different versions and they really don't know which one's good for them. And so a lot of times they end up in retail and they're like, yeah, this is not it. But I don't know how many people who jump into retail and feel that's not it. I don't know how many of those people eventually make their way into Classic. Let's see, let's hearth out of here. Let's go back to Gadgekstan. And maybe we'll see if we can grind while we look for a ZF group or something. I think I need to refill my coffee though before we do anything else. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna refill my coffee. I'm gonna park us right here for a second. I kind of want to put us in the queue, but I worry about getting an invite while I'm gone. So I'll just wait till I get back to put us in the queue. I will see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, let's pop ourselves into the queue. And we'll see how that goes. We could do Mara or Sunken Temple, but it's kind of a waste of time. It's a waste of time. We gotta travel all the way out there. Nobody knows the routes. Everybody always gets lost. Eventually, people will just leave the group if anything goes wrong. It's a huge pain to do those runs.
How you doing?
Most people skip them, and I'm gonna have to do the same. Once we get into Blackrock, like, we'll do some Blackrock stuff, because Blackrock's pretty good for kill XP. But I'm gonna skip Sunken Temple and Maradon. We need to buy some food. That's what I need to do.
I have a deal for you.
Oops.
Keep it real. Have a good one. Be good.
Here we go. Yeah, my best advice if you're just getting into Classic, like, and you probably already realized this, but take your time. Take your time. Try some different classes. Find something that it feels good to press the buttons, because you're going to be pressing the buttons a lot. And then also keep in mind, make sure you play on the Anniversary Realms, so when you select your server, make sure you end up on one of the Anniversary Realms. And then on January 13th, we're going into the Burning Crusade era. So the Burning Crusade is the second expansion of World of Warcraft. And with that, on January 13th, some system changes happen, some class changes happen. The best thing for new players to Classic is that with TBC, leveling becomes a little bit smoother. Still gonna be like a big, long journey, but it smooths out some of the rough patches in the leveling journey. Like sometimes in Classic era you feel like you hit a wall. That stuff doesn't happen once we're in TBC. TBC will feel much smoother than Classic era. So yeah, you have that to look forward to.
Yo.
This guy will eventually have a quest for us, apparently not yet. But we do need food.
What's up?
Sell me your chickens. I require all of your chickens.
Keep it real.
Alright, so while we wait and see if we're gonna get an invite, let's go somewhere to grind. We can go down to the Ogre area, that was good. We can go down to Thistle Shrub Valley, that worked out pretty well. I don't think I want to go into Ungoro until we hit level 51 at least. But whenever we hit 51, then we'll go into Ungoro. You will not be reset. Nope, just the content changes, yeah. On the 13th, a bunch of system changes happen. On the 13th, you'll get new races. You'll have access to Blood Elves on the Horde side and Draenei on the Alliance side. So on the 13th, there will be 2 new races added, one for each faction. But no reset or anything. You'll just keep playing. If you're a low level still by then, you won't really notice a lot of the system changes, because a lot of that stuff happens under the hood. What will happen is your talent points will be reset. So like you'll unlock talents at level 10. You'll probably spend some talents, and then when the pre-patch happens, you'll want to make sure you come in here and respend them, because they always will reset all your talent choices with a pre-patch, because some talents will change. And so to accommodate that, they just reset everybody so you can go back in and respend your points. Maybe we will go into Ungoro just to see like what level are the raptors in the southern part of the zone. And would those raptors be good for grinding? I feel like the answer might be yes and yes. Maybe we'll do that. Especially if we don't get an invite soonish. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time and see if we can get into a group, but lots and lots and lots of DPS, as always. And then we got a couple of tanks, a couple of healers. So we're kind of at the mercy of whatever comes together. We could definitely get the flight point, yeah, for sure. I don't see a problem with that. We'll probably make our way over there in a little bit if we don't get an invite. Can ogres be pickpocketed? Oh yeah, for sure. You know me, I just don't pickpocket stuff. But we can definitely do it. They have pockets somewhere. In their little outfits, they have pockets. Yeah, you know what? Let's head over that way. We're pretty close. Yeah, I don't know if I want to pick the pockets of creatures that are simply pooping all over the place where they live. It seems like I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going to be in their pocket, and maybe I don't want to find out. I feel like level 48 and level 49, that's a pretty good level for us to grind on mobs. And maybe more mobs will be that level in southern Ungoro. I just don't think we need to fight stuff that's green. We're strong enough to easily deal with higher level enemies, and it's worth more XP to do it that way. Are the Silithid here linked to the Silithid in Silithus? Well, I mean, in the sense that they're all Silithid, then yeah. Whether or not they're all part of the same hive mind, that I don't know. But they are all Silithid. Oh, we got rabies. Rabies are bad for us. Health regeneration rate reduced by 50%. Strength and agility both reduced by 14. Ouch. Big ouch. I wonder if the health regeneration rate reduction also applies to bandages and food. Like, do we regen less health from bandages and food while we have rabies? Or is that just talking about like our natural regen rate? I've never raided in TBC. 2 different times I had a warrior basically ready. The last time we had our warrior, like I had a warrior that was almost ready to go raid. I was getting my bold set together. I was going into Magister's Terrace. And then they announced the Wrath of the Lich King release date. And basically everybody stopped doing heroics. The heroics scene like died overnight. Because at that point everybody was just waiting for Wrath to come out. But I was late to the party. Both times I was pretty late to the party, so... My history with TBC, both originally and in Classic, was level my warrior. Spend lots of time doing heroics to get my bold set together. Step into Magister's Terrace 5-man to get some loot out of there. And then Wrath is coming out and nobody cares about raiding in TBC anymore. So this time is going to be different. This time, we're going to focus on this main. We're going to do all the raiding. And then question mark, question mark, question mark. Happiness. Mm-hmm. I'm not, oh, I don't know if I want to grab any of these quests. I guess I should at least grab them. At least, you know what, I can't grab them because we're maxed out. We're 20 out of 20. 20 out of 20. Let's see if like I can do anything about this. You know, we have all these quests in Blasted Lands. That's what's really filling up my log. I don't want to drop them because we're kind of like midway through a lot of them. We can drop some of these, I guess. We don't really need these right now. So let's do that. Tierra of the Deep, even if I complete that, I'll never go to Swamp of Sorrows to turn that one in, so I'm going to drop that one as well. There we go, 16 out of 20 looks a little bit better. And then I can at least grab this guy's quests. And then we have them for later. Yeah, pick up any crystals we see. That's a good one, yep. We can pick up the crystals before we have the quest. That is a good idea. I kind of just want to see... Level 49, okay. So, like, what I want to see is if I can just kind of grind my way north and get us to the flight point. Like, if I can just fight stuff, grind my way north, get to the flight points, and then I'll be happy. I don't really think we're going to do any questing here. And I might have to avoid some enemies. If the enemies get to be too high of a level, I'll have to avoid them. But anything up to, like, level 51, we should be able to handle. How am I planning to raid as a rogue? I'm in a guild and I already have a raid spot. Yeah, I'm just in a friend's guild. And so because of that, my raid spot's guaranteed. Well, we got ourselves an invite to a group. Let's go ahead and we'll check where everybody's at. Zulfarak, the warriors in Ungora with us. The other rogue is in Winter Spring? Oh wait, nope, they're in they must have Hearth, they're back in Tannerus now. And okay, so we're gonna want to we're gonna probably want to run up to the flight point really quick. And then after the run we can come back here and continue grinding if we want. And by then, I would say by then we'll be level 51, but I don't think we'll get 51 out of a single ZF. But I will mount up and let's try to get ourselves over to the flight point. Let's grab this quest here. There is a quest in the water we can grab. This wreckage. Might not be a good idea to run right through a bunch of stuff because we'll probably get dismounted if we do that, so I'll try to avoid some stuff. Wait, what is this? What are they? I guess I should have read the quest. Maybe it's telling us to go under the water here and grab something? Yes, here we go. Okay. They're probably going to have cleared the first half of the dungeon before we even get there, to be honest. It's going to be a little bit of travel time. This is why we need summoning stones to be active. I wouldn't have let them summon me anyway, though. I would have had to tell them I needed to go grab the flight point first, I guess, so either way. But at least if they could summon me, they could summon me, I can get the flight point, and then I could take the summon. As opposed to having to fly back and then make the run from Gadgekstan. Which is what we're about to do.
Very good. Alrighty then. Very well then.
Hello. See you later. Safe travels.
Time is money, friend. Hurry back.
Maybe we should vendor really quick.
I got what you need. Glad I could help.
Am I ready? I mean, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to continue traveling to the dungeon. Maybe they haven't started pulling yet. That would be cool, if I can get there before they've cleared most of it. I haven't seen health bars going up and down, so... Unfortunately for them, they are probably waiting on me. I'm always the last person to arrive. It feels that way, at least. The priest was AFK? Hey, that works for me. I just hope they're back now that we're here. The dungeon levels change in the pre-patch? I don't know if they adjusted any of the level ranges for TBC. I know they adjust some of the loot. Like some of the loot tables are changed. I don't know if they changed the levels though. That I'm not sure. Yeah, the warrior's DPS and the pally's tanking. I've never seen a group skip the entire main area back there and then pull this. Nobody ever pulls this. That's some interesting logic. Skip the main room, pull this pack off to the side for no reason. It's so much work to put together a run, it's puzzling why skips are a thing at all. Yeah, I don't get it either. Skips are a thing because they're probably ingrained in most WoW players' consciousness by now. Because that's the effect that retail had on people. And anybody who's played retail in the past 10 years, like skipping trash is simply ingrained into player behavior. Even in a version of the game where there's absolutely no reason to skip, and there's every reason not to skip. All we're doing this dungeon for is to get kill XP. That's it. That's the only reason we're doing this dungeon. So yeah, it makes 0 sense to skip anything. But it's ingrained. It's ingrained. If we can skip, we must skip. As if there's some big reward at the end. As if getting to the end is gonna, like, give us something. It's not gonna give us anything. You know, there's not a giant chunk of XP waiting for us at the end of the run. I almost wish they would do the hardcore thing and move all of the XP just to the bosses. And if they moved all the XP to the boss kills, then we could skip to our heart's content, and skipping would actually make sense. Because yeah, it sucks to do these runs and to skip anything. So I just need to be killing stuff. Yeah, that's what Mythic Plus did. Because in Mythic Plus there's a timer, so you want to skip as much as you can because you have to beat the dungeon within a certain amount of time. And you know, over a decade, people just got used to playing that way. And then Classic came out, and they're still playing that way. It's frustrating, but what can you do? No one clears everything because people don't want to spend an hour in an instance. Maybe you do, but not everyone does. Then why do it at all? It's all kill XP. Let's say you only spend 35 minutes in the dungeon, then what the fuck are you gonna go do? You're gonna go back out into the world. You're gonna have to either grind solo, or you're gonna have to find another group. So what's the point? You don't have an hour to play, just go grind by yourself. There's no reason to just get in and get out because you're not being rewarded. Your speed is not going to reward you. You're just leaving experience on the table. And if you ever played Classic, you would understand that most of your experience leveling up comes from killing stuff. That's the majority of your XP while you level to 60 is just kill XP. Only like a third of your XP comes from quest. So every mob you skip is just a missed opportunity to play the game correctly. To be honest with you, if you don't have an hour to do a dungeon, then Classic Era is not for you. It takes 200 hours to level a character from 1 to 60. So if your average play session is not an hour long, you shouldn't play Classic. Because you're not going to get anywhere. It's not going to be very fulfilling. If you can't even play for an hour, then just go do something else. Go back to retail, okay? It's easy enough. It's not complicated. They did that with FF14. All the mob XP was moved to the boss kills. Yeah, like that's an okay way to solve it. That's what they did in Hardcore Classic. They just moved all of the kill XP to the bosses, and then people that want to skip can skip, and then it makes sense to skip. In a situation where all the quest XP all the kill XP has been moved to the bosses, it makes sense to skip packs. In a world where that hasn't happened yet, then it makes no sense to skip. It's an either or. And Classic an hour run is short. Right. When I do a ZF, I think maybe this ZF could be an hour long, maybe it could be an hour 20. Like, you're just there for the ride. Yeah, but you need to at least have the hour. That's my point. If you don't even have an hour, then you probably just want to go do something else. What you don't want to do, if you only have an hour to play, or you don't have an hour to play, you don't do a dungeon that day. It's really easy. If you only have 20 minutes to play, go kill turtles on the coast. If you only have 20 minutes to play, go work on professions. Go do a single quest. My only point is, if you don't have an hour to play, you just don't do a 5-man dungeon in WoW Classic. It takes 15 minutes to get a group together. It takes 10 more minutes to get everyone at the instance. And then it's going to take at least 45 minutes to do the run. So it's just common sense. If you don't have an hour to play, you're not doing a dungeon anyway. That's it. You clearly don't know what you're talking about because you're not a Classic player. You might be someone who dabbles in Classic, but you literally don't know what you're talking about. There's no reason to get as many runs in as you can. There is every reason to kill as many mobs as you can. Your XP is not coming from the dungeon completion. There is no bonus XP waiting for you at the end of the run. This is not Mist of Pandaria Classic. You're not going to get rewarded with a chunk of XP just because the run is over. You get nothing. Every single ounce of XP you get comes from killing mobs. Loot is completely secondary. Oh, loot doesn't hardly matter at all. If you get a piece of loot, great. If not, it doesn't matter. Keep going. Yeah, when they do the random dungeon finder, remember with the random dungeon finder, you get that chunk of XP for completion. You get like a big, it's like 30,000 XP or something. So if you have an automated dungeon finder and they're going to give you a reward for killing the last boss, then it makes sense to kill the last boss as soon as you can. Get your big chunk of XP and move on. But in Classic era, there's no reason to skip. And if you think there's a reason to skip, it's just because you don't understand how Classic works. If you understood Classic and you were a good Classic player, you would understand that in Classic era, there is no reason to skip. And skipping is negative. And if you don't want to spend an hour doing a run, then you don't do the run. It's really simple. You'll either understand it one day or you won't. Thankfully, it's not my job to convince you. See, this tank understands. This tank understands Classic, and that's why he's popping all the zombies. Because he actually understands what's going to help him get to level cap is going to be killing mobs and not skipping mobs. Skipping mobs is not going to help you get to level cap. Only killing mobs is going to do that. And if you don't like that kind of gameplay, thankfully there's other versions of WoW that you can play. That's the great thing about this day and age that we live in, is there's multiple ways to play World of Warcraft. And there's basically a World of Warcraft that suits everybody's play style and suits everybody's time to play. I don't have to expect them to. It's still stupid of them not to. That's it. They don't have to spend time clearing. It's just stupid, and it's a waste of the time that you took to get into the group to not clear it. Because like I said, if you understood Classic, you would know that especially if you're a DPS class, it's a struggle to get into a group. It takes a long time to find a group. And so if you're going to find a group and your compulsion is to skip all the mobs, then you're an idiot. And you're wasting your time. And your time would be better off being spent somewhere else. That's it. It has nothing to do with what my expectations are. I expect most people to be stupid. But it doesn't mean that I don't wish otherwise. A smooth quest run gives experience? Yeah, a smooth quest run gives experience once. The people that are in this group, for most of us, this is not our first ZF. Because in Classic era, ZF is a instance that you farm over and over again in this level range to get kill XP. People literally will farm ZF from level 45 to 52. You get to do the quest once. So yeah, one time you can come through here, you can do a quest run, and you can turn it in for some XP, but every other time you're just trying to kill stuff. What we're doing here in this group is basically perfect. We skipped a couple things, but we got to this room, and now we're popping all the zombies, as we should. This is how you value people's time in Classic. In Classic, it takes a long time to get a group together. And so the way you value the people's time is not by trying to make the run short, it's by trying to get as much kill XP out of the run as you can. That's how you value people's time in Classic era. Especially DPS players who might wait in the queue. I think we waited for an hour the other day before we got an invite. We waited an hour before we got invited. So after waiting an hour, it sucks to get into a group with people who have the wrong mentality and people who are going to speed through the run, because then I waited an hour and then I didn't even get a bunch of kill XP. We skipped most of it. That's not respectful. Oh, I'm just sick of talking to you. There we go. You're one of those people that you're always gonna have to have something to say. Unfortunately, it's my stream and not yours. We'll see you later. Enjoy your life continuing to live in the ignorance of your own ideas. And please stay away from Classic. Go play Midnight or something. Collect your house bits. With your 12 minutes to play every day. Skipping mobs was also something they did in Season of Discovery. Yeah. Did Season of Discovery do the same thing Hardcore did? Did they lock the XP on the boss kill? I really can't remember. We farmed like Scarlet Monastery for like 50 hours on my Paladin, but I still don't remember if they handed out the XP at the end or what they did. Sod is retail minus. Classic minus. Sod was fun at the very end. I had a ton of fun in Sod in the very last phase. On a melee hunter who had a two-handed sword and no pet. And it was a lot of fun. But I had a miserable time in phase 2. I quit during phase 3. But by the end of Sod, I feel like Sod was fun to play. What is my main going into TBC? This character right here is my main. This is going to be the character that we do our raiding on. And then I'm going to be playing a Pally as my alt, but that's going to be over on the US realm of Dream Scythe. That's going to be a Blood Elf. Either a Blood Elf Pally or a Blood Elf Priest. I want to heal, and I can't decide if it's going to be a Pally or Priest, but it will be a Blood Elf for my alt, but that'll be over on Dream Scythe US. This is Thunderstrike EU. The Karazhan dungeon was peak. The Karazhan dungeon they made for Sod was so fun. It was like a 5-man raid. It didn't take as long to do as a raid, but the way the fights were, the way the mechanics were, and the way the dungeon played out, it felt really good. I had a ton of fun with that one. I have to AFK 1 second. My wife went to the store and I need her to pick up something for me, and I have to message her while she is actually out. And I have to do it now. I'll be right back. Sorry. And we're back. This is a pretty good Pally tank. Yeah, he's been really good. He also made sure to ask everybody to wait until Consecrate was down before we started opening up on stuff. So that's helpful too. The only problem is like mana, you know, like every once in a while he has to drink his mana back. But he's been managing it pretty well actually.
Sands consume you.
He dropped a green. Oh, that's really rude of him. It's really rude when bosses at this level drop greens. What do prop alleys have to do in Classic? They don't have to stand stance.
Let the execution
Basically in Classic they just have to struggle to hold threat because they don't have a taunt. You have Righteous Fury, which increases the amount of threat you deal. You can seal weave, like you can weave your seals together for more holy damage. You can seal like Crusader. No, what do? You do Righteousness, and then you have the other one that speeds up your attack swing. So there's like stuff you can do with your seals to optimize your damage output. I don't know if you have to do that. I don't know if this guy's doing it or not. Rhett or he's judging. No, see, he's judging Righteousness, and that's all he's doing. He's not seal weaving. He's mainly relying on Consecrate and Melee. Consecrate, Melee, and then the Righteous Fury. And that's basically it. Yeah, seal twisting, it's a waste of time and mana. Yeah, it's more for rep pallies. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I never do it on a rep pally either, but you can milk more holy damage out if you judge one seal and then switch to the other seal. But that's basically it. It's just a little bit more damage output. Well, that was pretty impressive. That was a really big pull, and I was kind of worried about him for a minute there, but he survived and he did a crap ton of damage. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Not the Chiefs and not the Lions. So I don't mind. I don't care who goes now. I'm going to watch the games because I'm curious. I'm rooting for the Bears now. Yeah, I think I'll be rooting for the Bears. You know, and that's it. But now I'll just be watching out of curiosity. Now I don't have to be stressed at all. Now that both of my teams are out of it for the season, now I can just enjoy the games and hope that they're close and skill-oriented games and that they're not all decided by penalty calls. It is a stress-free playoff run, yeah, absolutely. Yep, I don't mind it. Can't be a winner every season, especially with NFL. There's so much RNG in the NFL, and like you lose a couple players by the end of the season, your roster looks nothing like what it did at the start. And so, you know, sometimes you start off with a really amazing team and by the end of the season you don't have that team anymore. You just have whatever's left. It's like an XCOM campaign where you just lose a lot of your best soldiers like early in the campaign, except there's no save scumming. Oh boy. Another big pull. We need a mage. Oh man, we need a frost mage for this. If I was this pally, whenever I put together a group, I would definitely bring a frost mage. If I knew I wanted to pull like this, we need some AoE. I've got like no AoE. I've got AoE on a 2-minute cooldown, but even my AoE is just like, it's cleave AoE, so it's not even true AoE. I guess if he can just kill it all himself, it doesn't really matter. Healer just has to keep him alive. Who are my teams? I root for the Lions and the Chiefs. Because I spent 6 years living in Missouri. And the rest of my life I've lived in Michigan. So yeah, the Chiefs and the Lions are my main teams. But I like a lot of different teams. I like the Broncos, I like the Bills, I like the Bears. I have a lot of teams that I enjoy watching. Because I watch a lot of games. You know, some people just watch their teams, but I watch every game I can when season's on, so... I end up having a lot of favorite players throughout the league and a lot of teams that I like. And a few teams that I can't stand. Like, no matter what else happens, I want to see the Eagles lose. I hate the Eagles. And they're can tush push. I'm gonna tush push them right out of the playoffs. I hate the Cowboys, just because I hate Dak Prescott. I think he's not worth the money that he gets paid. The Vikings are okay. I don't mind the Vikings, but you know what? I started to like the Vikings less because they got rid of Darnold. And Darnold did really good for them last year, and he did really good once he moved to Seattle, and I'm just thinking, like, why did they get rid of Darnold? He was an amazing quarterback for them. He seemed to fit their team pretty well, and then they got rid of him and they put a rookie in. And yeah, so I don't know. The Vikings are okay, but I feel like this year they just made a lot of stupid choices. Like managerial choices that were just bad. It's hard to root for a team that's like making stupid choices with their roster. Injury prone. If you're an NFL player, I feel like everybody in the NFL is injury prone. Especially towards the end of the season, everybody's wore out. Your body's wore out. You know, you've taken a lot of abuse. I feel like by the end of the season, anybody's as likely to get injured as anybody else. It sucks. It's a really crappy part of the sport. Like, so much is decided by injuries. So much in the NFL is decided by injuries and decided by, like, officials and penalty flags. So basically, like, it's all RNG up to a certain point. What's my rotation on the rogue? Sinister Strike and Slice and Dice. And that's basically it. I have not found a reason to really work in any other buttons yet. Every once in a while I'll Eviscerate, but Eviscerate's not that great. Every once in a great while I'll put a Rupture up, but mostly I'm concerned with keeping Slice and Dice going. And that's what I've been doing since like level 15. The classic rotations are generally pretty simple, regardless of level. If I'm soloing, I'll come out of stealth with a cheap shot. Because cheap shot stuns, and cheap shot gives us 2 combo points. So soloing, I'll stealth, cheap shot, slice and dice. And then I'll just Sinister Strike. And if I have to renew my slice and dice, I'll do that. If not, maybe I'll squeeze in an Eviscerate at the end of the fight. But that's it. Pretty easy, pretty smooth. It's really important to make sure that your slice and dice is basically up at all times. Well, that's your priority. Has the mallet question occurred yet? I don't think so. If anybody's asked about the mallet, I missed it. But I don't think it's come up yet.
These deserts be mine. The sanctuary reigns supreme. Feel the fury of the sand.
And he dropped the confusing staff that nobody really needs. There we go. Love to see it. We have lots of ads. Like ideally, we would not have this many ads. Ideally. Let's start targeting down the lower HP guys. This guy back here is he's just taking pot shots at the healer, it looks like. I want to get the witch doctors dead. They keep dropping totems. Maybe the tank just has the mallet, and that's why the question hasn't come up yet. I mean, we seem to be working our way in here with a purpose. And I haven't seen any chatter in party chat. I wouldn't mind just killing everything and working our way out of the instance doing that. All right, well, we cleared the entire area. We still, oh, well, no, we haven't. We got this little nook back here. I've never seen anybody come back here and fight these guys. See, this is the right way to do a classic dungeon. It's taken us longer than an hour, big surprise. And we've been killing a lot of enemies, which is awesome. This is an example of a good group and a way to do classic dungeons. We skipped a couple things early, but then like we got to the zombie room, and after that we just stopped skipping. So that was nice. I don't think we have a mallet. I think we're just going to clear the way out. Well, this guy's running over to the mallet, but no one has asked the question. Everyone seems happy enough to be fighting stuff because we have a good group. Everything's been going smooth. The tank has been good. The healer is great. And yeah, it looks like we're just going to keep on killing stuff, which works for me. That's a good point. Maybe that's why the tank skipped that main area in the beginning, because it's actually on the way out and we can get the mobs then. We might. If we get all that way, I bet we will kill them. Full clear. Minus the boss we can't summon. I wonder if in TBC you still need the mallet to summon that guy. I know at some point they change it so you can simply click the thing. Maybe that happens in TBC. If it doesn't, then, you know, all those mallet quests that used to be elite, all that stuff will be non-elite. Because all of the elite quests out in the open world in TBC, they become solo quests. So maybe if they still need a mallet for that, maybe more people will be able to go do the mallet quest because you can do it solo at that point. Yeah, here we are. We're back in the room where we skipped all those mobs. So let's see what we're gonna do here. What choices do we have for 5-mans going forward? Nothing really between now and when we can do BRD. BRD is the next one that I will do. Technically, Sunken Temple is something we could do. I don't do Sunken Temple. So we'll be going into BRD. I think like level 53, maybe we can do BRD. And since the level difference won't really matter, that I'm hoping CNET can tank for us on his warrior. His warrior's level 60, but for BRD, if we're level 54, then that's not going to hurt the kill XP. That's what I'm hoping for, that by the time we're ready to do BRD, that CNET will be able to tank us through a bunch of runs. I mean, we left a few mobs standing, but I'm happy. This is one of the best runs we've had, even though we couldn't summon the boss. This is how a classic dungeon is run. You're here for the kill XP. This group understood that. This tank understood it. We're here for the kill XP. We got a bunch of kill XP, so I am very happy with this one. This was a great run. That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna hearth us back to Gadgekstan. Unfortunately, guys, I am out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow, probably for like a similar time segment. I'm gonna try to come on around noon tomorrow, and we'll probably play till around 4. And we're just gonna keep at it. I think tomorrow we'll be able to go into Ungoro Crater with a little bit more earnestness and maybe pick up some of the questing there. And kind of immerse ourselves in the jungle. So I would love to see you guys then. Thank you for hanging out with me today and for all the support. I really do appreciate it. As always, take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other. And we will see you back in Azeroth very soon. Bye for now.